Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks and indeed my channel. I am back. I'm going to be uploading again, and I want to get, well, a bit of a downer first to get sort of out of the way, and you'll understand in a minute. But first, I'd just like to apologise. I did sort of go into complete shutdown. I wasn't on here, wasn't on Twitter. So, I do want to apologise for that, and I want to thank everybody for sticking with me as well. Thank you very much for that. And I'm sorry if if you have sent me a message showing your concern that I didn't get back to you. Like I said, I was sort of in complete shutdown, and that's basically because most of you that have been following my channel for a while will know that I've suffered with depression for a number of years, and also anxiety. And even though I'm off the antidepressants, most of the time I'm okay. I can sort of handle it and deal with it and what have you. But I did have a bit of a relapse with that. A lot more. I'd say more the anxiety rather than the depression side, but it was sort of both. And did have a bit of relapse with it, and just kind of shut down basically from everything, and just sort of shut myself off digitally. Didn't even go on my console, and I hadn't touched World of Tanks in what, 4 months, apart from going back on it again. Started last week getting a bit of footage together, and just sort of getting back to it, and after getting my head sorted out. But that was initially where I went, and I got to a point where I was just getting myself sorted and getting my head sorted out. And sorry, I'm going to be a little bit all over, but I also want to use this time to reiterate the importance of talking about mental health, and especially with men. There seems to be there's like a stigma attached to it with men especially, and it is important to to talk to the people around you, and talk about it. Don't just suffer with it and think any less of yourself, but talk and seek help. It is really important. But anyway, so initially that's what happened, and I was just getting to a point where I was sorting myself out, getting my head back together, and about to sort of get back to it. And then unfortunately at the end of September, my mother-in-law, my wife's mum, passed away quite suddenly actually, and it was a bit of a shock. So obviously, understandably, I couldn't get back up to uploading then, which I'm sure you'll understand. It was a horrible time for us all. My wife losing her mother, and our kids losing their grandmother, and it was just a horrible time, and that was at the end of September. So obviously there was a lot to sort out and sort of get our heads around and what have you. And then again, unfortunately, a few weeks later, so it would have been a couple of weeks ago now, we lost a family friend as well, a close family friend. So again, very, very trying and difficult few months. So that's where I've been, and again, I'd like to apologise for sort of just completely shutting down and not letting anybody know what was happening. But all that unpleasantness is sort of behind us now, and we're sort of we're dealing with it. We're all right. My wife, she's fine. She's we're all coping and everything. As I said, it's just been a very difficult time. So that's where I've been basically, and what's been going on. But now at a place where I want to try and get some normality back into my life, as well as my wife's and everything else, as you can understand. So at a point now where I can start uploading again, and again just thank everybody for sticking with me. So but yeah, I'm going to try and that. Let's face it, that's been a bit of a downer, that little bit. So I don't want to sound too glib or anything, but I'm going to try and cheer myself up a bit, and just sort of that was a difficult thing to talk about. And I'm just going to sort of go on about other things now, and try and perk up a little bit, and that's out of the way. So back to World of Tanks, and sort of what's been going on in this. Well, 4 months is a long time in computer games, video games, especially in something like World of Tanks that gets updates fairly regularly. And I've just sort of been trying to catch up on things, and I appreciate, I've seen quite a few messages of people saying that they've missed my reviews and what have you. And I do appreciate that. It's nice to know that, you know, that you appreciate the videos that I do and the reviews and everything, and you know, you appreciate my opinion on stuff. So, you know, I'm not saying I'm any kind of expert. I just, you know, try and tell it how I see it, and you know, try and analyse what these things are going to be like and whether they're going to be worth any money or not. But so, you know, again, thank you to that. But yeah, what have I missed? Well, a bit of a summary. Another tiger. The Citadel, yeah, because we needed another tiger. What else? More mercenary tanks, which I'll talk a little bit about in a minute. But yeah, more mercenary tanks. Go on. Obviously, because there was a distinct lack of them in the game beforehand, we've had more Russian tanks because you know, obviously there weren't many of those before. And another Panther, yeah, another Panther, the Wojtek, that Polish Panther. The 50 TP looks interesting. I think I'm going to try and pick that up on the press account, and yeah, it might be a little bit late though because I think it's going off in a few days. So I'm going to try and do a review of it. But if it's going off, I don't know whether it be worth doing or not. But yeah, the 50 TP does look interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I've missed too much tank-wise. I have missed, obviously, the update. I'm trying to figure out what's come and what's gone in that. Something I've noticed, I've just been in the Centurion there, as you can see, in the 7.1, that they've had the armour upgrade to the front of the turret. Really good. Love that now. I mean, I kind of liked it before, but now it just seems to be a beast on ridgelines. More so than it was before. So yeah, that's a good thing. And as I said, I'm just trying to catch up on what's what and what's been going on, and hope to get back to doing reviews within the next week or two, depending on what comes out and how comfortable I feel with sort of you know, how much to grit when I can talk. You see, some things don't change. With how much I can get to grips with the nerfs and various nerfs and buffs that came in. Obviously the Super Conqueror's here as well. The Conqueror's had some spaced armour stuck on its turret and, you know, a few other bits and bobs like that. So that's it really. But you know, over the next couple of weeks I want to get back to uploading regularly. Most days, if not every day, if I can get back to uploading every day. Fingers crossed. But that'll be sort of a process over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Mercenary tanks, my opinion on those still is I don't particularly like them. You know, you might not be interested, you might not care what I think about the mercenary tanks, but you know, I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes. Yeah, I don't particularly like them. I think it was a good idea, implemented badly. I don't like the fact that the contracts are absolutely ridiculous, that you really got to jump through hoops to get a tank which, and this is the part that kind of bugged me a little bit as well, is the contracts. To get a tank which essentially they've cobbled together various parts from different tanks to generally, and you know, I'm going off the sort of first and second batches of the mercenaries. I've not had a proper look at the next few, you know, the next lot that have come out. So I could be off on this, but with the first batch, it just felt like the parts are being cobbled together to create tanks that are so similar, or you know, in some cases exactly the same as existing tanks already in the game, that I just didn't see the point. And then the fact that you had to do ridiculous amounts of XP grinding and things through the contracts to get them was just kind of annoying. But it, you know, I tried not to let it bother me too much, because the way I looked at it is, I don't agree with them, I don't like them particularly, and I don't like the way they've been implemented, but nobody's making me go for it. You know, I'm not being made to do anything. I don't have to go for these tanks if I don't want to. And that's the way I look at it. You know, it doesn't bother me in the game. I don't have to go for them, so you know, that's it. I don't agree with what they've done with them, but that's just my opinion at the end of the day. And I'm not forced to do anything, so that's it. I don't really care if they're there or not, to be honest. And you know, I have seen a few things about these. The Brett Parson tanks, the 3 mercenary premium tanks from the Tank Girl, sort of one of the Tank Girl artists. And again, same deal with those. You know, I don't really care one way or the other whether they're in the game or not. The look of them doesn't really bother me at all. You know, it just doesn't. I'm not saying I like them, but I don't dislike them. I just really don't think one way or the other about them, to be honest. And again, I'm not bothered if they're in the game or not. I don't have to buy them. That's it. So that's just my, you know, thought on them. There you go, for what it's worth. If anybody was interested, maybe you're not. So yeah, that's it really. The only other thing I noticed, which I don't know if I wasn't too happy about, and again, yeah, I know it sounds like a bit of a grumbly thing, but it's just my opinion on what's sort of come and gone, or come, should I say, over the last few months, is the new bundles with the equipment thrown in for gold price. Now, a couple of years ago, there was a big thing over this, and a lot of contributors, as well as myself, did videos on this pricing thing. And the problem was at the time that obviously there were timed releases on these bundles, as they are now, but the top two bundles came, or I can't remember if it's top two or the top bundle that got released first, always had equipment thrown in, but you were paying a gold price for that equipment as though you were using gold to converting it into silver, and then obviously using that silver to buy those pieces of equipment. And that was the problem, that you were being forced to pay real money for something that you could pay for with in-game currency normally, and that was the big issue about it. And Wargaming, to their credit, they listened to what everybody's opinion was, they heard what everybody was saying, and they stopped it. And that, you know, we just got the bundles without the equipment, so you weren't paying an extra gold price. You know, that's fair enough. They listened and they adjusted it accordingly. But obviously now we've got the bundles back in with equipment, so you know, equipment that you can buy for silver, put in for gold. But although I don't agree with that, and I really don't think you should buy it, I think you should just use the silver that you've got in game. I mean, I can see if you're a new player and you've just not really got any silver and you're buying your first premium tank, it comes with all the equipment, fair enough, you know. But at least, again, to Wargaming's credit, they have put it so that it seems, I mean, I've looked back over the news things and looked at the release dates, and with this one, it's not like they're releasing that bundle first, so if you want it straight away, you have to pay real money for the, you know, for the equipment. They release it at the same time as the other bundle, you know, without equipment as well, so it's not like being forced into it. I don't know if I made myself clear. I probably haven't. I probably just rambled a little bit more than I probably should have done, but anyway, you get my point, hopefully. That although I don't agree with that, with having equipment put in for, you know, real money gold price, at least you have the option to buy that, or, you know, without the equipment at the same time, should I say. That's it, really. I think I've probably said everything I wanted to in this video, hopefully. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else other than, you know, I really kind of have missed this game. There's some things I haven't missed, there's some things I have, but, you know, I have kind of missed it. And as I said last week, I think it was the first time I'd played this game in 4 months, so it did take a little bit of getting back into it, and I think this was the first match that I had after a few hours of playing on it that I thought, actually, yeah, I'm getting it again. You know, I'm really sort of starting to get it, because the first few matches, I sucked. I really did. But yeah, I'm getting back to it, and as I said, getting back to the uploading, and once again, I'd like to thank you all for sticking with me, and apologise for not letting anybody know what was going on. You know, it's difficult. Anybody who's sort of dealt with anything like that will know it can be difficult, and as I said, I just kind of shut down, and I really wish I'd have hit that shot then. Sorry, a bit of a tangent, but I was just keeping an eye on what was going on, and I really wished that I'd hit that shot, but I moved at the last second and it went into the ground. But anyway, there you go. So yeah, that's what's been going on, that's where I've been. But touch wood, I'm back now for good. Touch wood, you know, nothing else is going to happen, and I'm back for good. And I promise that next time, if anything does happen, I will let people know what's going on. So yeah, thank you, and that's it, really. You know, thank you for all your concern, and again, you know, I know I keep saying it, but I can't thank you enough for sticking with me. You know, it is much appreciated, and yeah, that's about it. So, well, if I don't get another video up this week, which I'm hoping to get one up in the next couple of days. In fact, no, I am going to get one up in the next couple of days. So for now, take care out there, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.